All right. Hi, everyone. I am Ransford, and I'm Senior Lecturer in Transport and Urban Futures. I'm based in the Department of Planning, Property and Environmental Management, and I've also recently taken on the role as the Transport and Mobility Challenge Lead of the Manchester Urban Institute. So I've only got 3 slides, and I think my goal here is to give you a very high-level sort of overview of what I do, and then hopefully, if there are synergies, we can begin the conversation from there. So my research broadly focuses on the future of transport and mobility, and I aim to engage with issues around technological transitions and how the implications for creating sustainable cities. This is a one-slide kind of overview of what I do. So breaking it down into an area of focus, then it's about technologies, transitions. I focus on 3 main strands. The first strand is to do with automation, so autonomous vehicles or self-driving cars. I'm not interested so much about the technologies and the technical dimensions, even though they are relevant. I'm interested in the wider societal implications, how they intersect with cities, the implications for parking, for land use, for societies, for cycling, and so on and so forth. And we've done some really interesting work in different contexts, trying to anticipate. I should say this is not a technology that is yet with us. I mean, that is diffused. So we develop techniques, methodologies to try to look at what the implications are and how we can anticipate and mediate any unwanted consequences for cities and their mobility systems. The second strand of my research is around digital platforms and mobility services. So anything to do with Uber, ride-hailing, to do with mobility as a service, right? Trying to integrate all mobility services onto a single platform. Here too, I'm interested in questions around the travel behavioral implications. How do they influence mobility and accessibility in cities? Who has access to it? How does issues to do with the digital divide and so on and so forth mediate the accessibility and mobility outcomes? And then the last strand of my research is focused on decarbonization, and here specifically on electrification in transport. So for example, at the moment, we have a joint project with colleagues at the Chinese University of Hong Kong, trying to look at electrification infrastructure planning, accessibility, access, I should say, to these infrastructures and how we can mobilize evidence to make that transition. So across these strands, I'm really interested in understanding the evolving ecosystem. So there are antecedents to these technologies. And then as these new technologies enter the ecosystem, if you like, how does it change the dynamics of that ecosystem? And positive, looking at the challenges and also the opportunities. As I mentioned earlier, it's about the wider societal implications. For example, what would be the implications of automation for older people? And this is a piece of research that I have collaborated with colleagues interested in aging and future societies to look at this. How do we leverage technologies, digital technologies, to bring about seamless transport? So I'm talking about integration among various modes, as you would see in Manchester with the B network and so on and so forth. Accessibility inequalities and ultimately creating environmentally sustainable cities. This is my last slide. I was asked to talk about the value of interdisciplinarity in what I do. I think, yeah, it's really key, and for what I do, I think the most important thing is having a holistic understanding of what I think it's a wicked problem, similar to all kind of socio-technical transitions. So I'm a social scientist, urban planner who is interested in transport. So I bring those perspectives and obviously other social science perspectives to not look at only the technical, but the socio-spatial and political realities and other considerations that I haven't mentioned here. I think ultimately interdisciplinarity also helps to bridge the gap between innovation, policy, and implementation. So it's not only about the technical viability of these solutions, but societal acceptance and impact. And then my goal is ultimately so that we can imagine and invent better cities. So that's everything by way of what I do. And as I talked about the transport and mobility theme, if there's anyone in the room, I'm essentially looking for my people. Okay, so if you do anything that borders on transport and mobility, then please let me know. I'm happy to engage with people. Thank you very much.